Where we find, learn, and play one more turn of War in the East. And this is a very special episode. Why is that? We're into August. This is turn number 8. And sorry, I was a couple of minutes late. Not to bore you with too much personal stuff, but I usually wake up at about 6 a.m. for my job. And then it seems on Friday night, my body says, okay, let's catch up with our sleep. And wow, was I knocked out. But I've scrambled to the commander's chair here to get in another episode. We resolved turn 7 last time. And so let's just kind of go look around the map, see what we've got. We're going to go look at our event log, and we'll see what events took place as it went through all of the phases and what's shown up, what's withdrawn. Let's hope nothing's withdrawn, but it's likely to happen each turn. And let's go check it out and see what we've got. Well, in the north, we still have these isolated these isolated units, Soviet units out here as kind of a lone outpost in the Finnish coast. Uh, Eventually, we'll attack them. There's no reason to at this moment. We can zoom in here and see what they're showing anyway. Oh, don't want to do that. You saw the hasty attack pop up. You can see that they've actually got better strength than we have here, at least fog of war, et cetera, et cetera. We think they have more strength than we do. They're in is that a city? I believe it's considered, oh, it's a port. It's a city and a port. No, it's a town and a port. Okay, long story short, we're not going to attack there yet. They're isolated. They will eventually probably run out of supply, but ultimately it just doesn't matter unless the Finns say, get off every piece of land of ours. We've got this situation here. We're almost to the Finnish no attack line, so we will just do concerted, deliberate attacks on each one of these units. We'll stack, we'll attack, and we'll get right to this line. Now, if the Soviets truly have left all of this open, we'll keep moving. It's a no attack line, as we've attacked before. As we've talked before, it's not a no move line. It is a no attack line. The Finnish no move line is right here. And so lots of hashed lines around the map for the Finns. The Finns need all kinds of special rules. Meanwhile, we'll be moving down here to also get to the no attack line and hopefully beyond, but usually the Soviets have just those little 1-point fortified units along here. They also may have a little infantry, so we'll try to knock those out. And push where we can. Hey, look, if we can use the Finns to come down here and cut off the supply through Lake Ladoga, that's great. But really that supply kind of runs from here. This is where, and I believe historically, where they came across the frozen lake to deliver what supplies they could. So you really need to get to that hex right there. We will be trying to do that, but that will probably have to be done with German forces. As we see here south of Leningrad, now we're showing, nothing in Leningrad. That is not the case. When we run recon here, we will see a virtual hornet's nest of Soviets triple stacked everywhere up in here. It's a tough nut to crack, but we're almost there. We're almost there. We'll have to decide what to do with 4th Panzer this time. They have pushed nicely here to the north, but as we've discussed before, this is terrible terrain for, motorized units. We may have to go east. Now, it doesn't look like Novgorod, as we see in the fog of war right now, is very well defended. I would suppose there's probably a 30 or 40 defensive units sitting here in Novgorod, or multiple units. So we'll have to go and clear that out here and decide, does 4th Panzer go this way? Do they try to go up this railway, which actually does not have swamp until we get here? It's very difficult to get across when the river widens here. So to like jump from here to here, very difficult. It takes a whole turn. So we may be better off doing it here and coming around, but we'll decide that. I guess we kind of have to decide that this turn. We have these Soviet units isolated. That should just be mop-up duty this time. As you see down here, and as we, whoa, whenever you have a hex selected, that's where you zoom. Um, as I back up a little bit and we see the situation around Veliki Luki, you can see that the Soviets completely withdrew almost all of these forces. So northeast of Vitebsk, we had this massive potential pocket here. You may remember they were triple stacked down in these areas. They have gotten everything out of that. Now, there's positives and negatives to that. Hey, what's going on, everybody? We've got Stanley. We've got Defender. Do we have Defender, or was that yesterday? I don't know if I'm seeing a few of the comments from yesterday. I do see David J. Rousson. I do see P. Warner. Hello, P. Warner. How are you? AR in the West. Now you're sending me coded messages, and I have no Enigma machine here. Rocka Soccer, how are you? I assume maybe you're talking about war in the West. If you are, I will be putting up a recorded episode later. So I'm not going to do that one live, at least not the first one, since it's more like a straight up tutorial. I just find that those are easier to do, and the tutorials are easier to do not live, because sometimes I want to stop, or sometimes I think of something else, so I stop the tape. Stop the tape! Thank you to my wife who deposits this monster of a coffee right next to me. Thank you, my love. That's the kind of stuff a general needs. Hey, that'll get me going. All right. Woo! P. Warner, you're just typing gibberish at me. Memorex? What in the world are you talking about? I honestly don't know. So anyway, I guess what I was going to say here, there are positives and negatives. I've really focused on the positives. I'm a half glass full kind of guy, I guess. But by the Soviets retreating out like this, they are saving their forces, and ultimately they have a massive manpower advantage, of course. But I like the way this is shaping up, because if I even go out one more zoom level here, you can see we're kind of cutting this way, and when they retreat out of here like this, where are they going? Well, I was joking at the end of last turn, they're going to Vyshny Volochysk to protect that vital town. Well, as you know and I know, that's not so vital. And so, you know, if they want to retreat up this way, will we have to deal with all of their manpower at some point? Well, maybe. If we can get in and around and encircle Moscow and completely cut off the head, essentially, of the Soviet forces, they can have all of the troops up here in the world, and it's not going to do any good. Because ultimately, even if we get on the defensive, we just have superior troops. We can fight on the defensive quite well up in this area right here, even if they outnumber us 3-1. And so if they want to go this way, that's fine. If we take Leningrad and Moscow, it just won't matter. And so we're continually forcing them to retreat into places they don't want to. Now, down in this Smolensk pocket here, they actually have done a pretty good job now of retreating up northeast, which also protects Moscow. So they've given us the field here across Mogilev, but they are retreating up into what should be their defensive line. I can tell you, just, you know, I looked at the map before we started here. These are very weak units, at least right here. They're not going to stop us. They may slow us down a little bit. And from what the best we could tell last time, even with all the recon we ran, there's not a whole lot around Moscow. Once we pop through here, I mean, we'll see. Every turn, they're going to be getting massive manpower this way. So, you know, we'll see how that plays out. Now, 3rd Panzer is up here just north of Veliki Luki. They could swing south now into better terrain and help with 2nd Panzer on the push past Rezhev. But they also have a bunch of these soft units, because that's a lot of what, you know, retreated up here. I think these units are the better Soviet units, and I will say hat tip to the AI. this was our way through these little mountains and this bad terrain right here. It looks like they've triple stacked what good units they have. They also double stacked other good units here, so they're kind of trying to, do a little ring here so we can't break out. We'll see if that works. We're going to come after them and see if we can just blow through something. YGBSM, that's right. You can't beat a wife like that. Brings you a big coffee, gives you a kiss, says good luck out there, honey. She doesn't really know what I'm doing on this board here, but actually she does. She has to listen to my historical rants all the time about World War II. I think she's seen World War II in color enough. It's a running joke between us that when we don't have a show to watch, and I said, well, we could watch World War II in color, but that gets the veto now. So she's like, yeah, I've seen that one enough, my friend. Ninth Army pushing. This will push as much east and a little northeast to keep this ring here. Why is that? Well, we're taking 16th Army pretty much straight north, and so we don't want to have like a massive gap down here by Veliki Luki that the Soviets could potentially push through. So some of these units will come up here, secure Veliki Luki with boots on the ground, and then maybe push northeast and straight east. We'll see how that plays out as well. Fourth Army, they are going directly east, maybe vectoring a little northeast to help with this encirclement of Moscow. They may be the southern gate here as we push our panzers north. We've got our isolated SS unit here. They did incredible work last time. The heroic, well, they are not that, given history, but at least in this game, what an absolute barn burner of a turn last time as they moved behind potentially 500,000 to 600,000 Soviet troops all by themselves and almost made it back to German lines. They did not. Another hat tip to the AI, and I will just say this: if you do play this game or War in the East against another human player, this is what the human Soviet players do, and this is what they should do, and that is run behind you like this and try to cut off supply lanes. Now, luckily, well, I say luckily, I wish we did control this rail. We really don't yet. It's in German hexes, but it hasn't been repaired, and so they didn't necessarily cut us off from supply. As you can see down here, we've got our movement points almost, kind of a normal allotment. We've got as many as these guys do up here because supply could just run around this way. But this was a good job by the AI of trying to get around behind us. Now, luckily, we still have an infantry unit on this side of the river that we'll use to clean up there. Sixth Army, it looks like the Soviets have, in many ways, withdrawn from Kiev. That's somewhat surprising. I think if you play the Soviets or you play a human player that plays the Soviets, this is a great place to make a stand for the Soviet player. It's getting a little later. If you can slow down the Germans here, you've really kind of done your job in the first summer, fall aspect of the war, at least in the south. But in this case, it looks like they're going to fall back. I don't really know where they're going. Now, if they're smart, they'll start heading a little south down this way. So they'll kind of, maybe pull out here, but go down here. I don't know if they'll do that. They may fall back to Kharkov and Kursk, historically, obviously massive battles around that area, but that was, the Germans got there and then the Soviets counterattacked here. I don't know. Maybe they're going to put up a stand there. Cherkasy, we're almost across at Cherkasy. I'm still not sure if that's what we're going to do. We may run the panzers down here, clean up some stuff, and just keep going right along the river here until we get a really, really weak spot. Now, you see they've got 27 actually in the city itself. Only a 1 unit here. I don't know if they have anything else back here. If this is only a 1 unit, we would be able to get across the river here. That sets up all kinds of possibilities. We could do an encirclement here. We could do an encirclement here. I would love to get across here. We'll see what the situation is after we run recon. Now, this wily AI, I will say, did an amazing job busting through our encirclement. right here. I maybe outthought myself a little bit. In retrospect, I should have left this motorized unit in this hex because the Soviets would have had an almost impossible situation trying to get through here to the southwest. They came through to the southeast, and then they took this little cavalry unit and ran it up here and just got through there. And damn, they busted our encirclement. uh, oh, Jasik, hey, thank you so much for following. I do appreciate it. Um, yeah, thank you, as always, to all of you. Thank you for a follow, a subscribe, questions, comments, all of it. I really appreciate it. I've said this before, but you guys are the best. I've got the best subs, best followers. I watch other streams sometimes, and it's a bunch of people just typing weird emoticons, which I guess is fun and okay, but we actually have a good back and forth here, and I really appreciate it. And I've got to say, the channel's growing just by leaps and bounds. Every day is a better day than the last, and it just keeps flying upwards. We're almost to 2,000 subs on YouTube, which not bad for 4 months. Really growing in a great fashion. So I really do appreciate it. And if I sometimes forget to say that, it's not because I don't feel it. Feel it in my heart. Don't get all emotional on you guys. Uh, all right. We've got some new units moving up from the back. We got to deal with that. We got 11th Army that just seems to have wide open spaces. I will not make another Dixie Chicks reference. Oh, I guess I just did. These guys are just, it looks like they can just run to Stalino. But the Soviets will be trying to come down and stop that, of course. I don't think I need to tell you that. I think one advantage 11 has now, though, is these Soviet units had to run up here and try to break this pocket, and it's got them out of position, I believe. I think we can get around behind them this turn and maybe do an encirclement over all of this now. Let's have grand ambitions. As my old high school basketball coach used to say, aim for the stars, and if you don't hit them, you'll land pretty high anyway. That's the kind of stuff a high school coach says, right? Anyway, we're going to take Odessa with barely a shot fired. Again, a good human Soviet player probably wouldn't play that way. But I'm curious where all of these retreating Soviet units are going to have to stop somewhere. I just don't know where they're going to stop. So let's jump into the game after we've done that. Well, he says that as he goes over to the event log. We've got clear weather, okay? We already knew Das Reich was isolated, so okay. Oh, okay, we've got some promotions here. Excuse me. And it looks like de Chauvelet, gosh darn it, I said it so much better last time. He was promoted to general, all right. Panzer Corps commander, Hans Reinhardt, his political rating went up, all right. I guess he personally called Hitler and said, you're the best. And his political rating went up. Corps Commander von Wichtorn, or von Wichtoren, his morale rating increased to a 5. And so, we haven't talked a lot about this, but your leaders will get bumps. Sometimes they will decrease if they start losing battles later on. But as they win battles and their won-loss percentage goes up, they start getting better stats. Oh, look at all these stats. Oh, the Italians have arrived. Woo! All right. We were we were very short of pasta on the front lines and vino. The Italians are going to arrive and and get our carb load going here. So we should get more movement points when the Italians arrive, I believe. Now the Italians will be back here. We'll get them up to the front. Now usually I rail them up under the old rules. Given the new rules where your rail cap does affect how much supply makes it, I may not do that, although that is really going to be a long time before they get to the front. So we'll see. We had some air groups withdraw. We had an aircraft upgrade. aircraft swaps, we had some pilot training, so on and so forth. You don't want to just go through the spreadsheets, right? Probably have to do that at your job every week. So let's get into the battles. Um, let's see. Well, first of all, let's come down here and deal with what we want to do with our air forces this time. I think we have a great deal of what we want where we want it. We've got 40 fighters, 204 bombers here. Let's see what we could possibly get out of the strategic reserve. It doesn't look like we added a whole lot. The strategic or national reserve, I guess is what I should call it, keeps looking the same time after time. Uh, Vladivostok, that's where we're headed, P. Warner, the ultimate objective. And I just like to say Vladivostok. What a great name. Um, what to do here? What to do? Let's actually go back. Let's go back and let's go get these units that just showed up and get them moving to the front. That's a little more exciting than moving air units around. Well, let's also move previous reinforcements up to the front. So we have the 183rd Infantry Division. That's streaming to the front. I'm tempted to rail this one up there because I actually need it for something, but I'll show you what that is as we move on. So that's moving up. What do we have here? The 294th. That is also connected to OKH. We'll bring that up here by Bromberg. As they move to the front. All right. Here's another one of our reinforcement there. We'll just spacebar. Won't dilly-dally. Okay, now this unit here, so this is an SS unit, just a little cavalry brigade. We're going to use that to mop up partisans as much as we can. So I'm going to put it near Minsk here and use it solely on to do nothing other than when partisan units like this one pop up, we're going to use that to run out into the countryside and take care of that, which I guess is sadly maybe all too historic. Okay, I don't think we have anything else back here. We do have this motorized unit. Now remember, we bought this out last time and put it in 3rd Panzer Group. This time it's going to be the one that comes here. Now our rail line, our functioning rail line, let's click off of here for a second. Our functioning rail line here goes through Vilnius and down this way. So as you can see, where it spawned is actually not the worst place possible because it did not touch our rail line. That would have been a disaster because 3rd Panzer would have gotten almost nothing had they cut the rail line here at Vilnius or close. Now, all these partisans have to do is be in the hex next to it, and they repair it. They don't have to be right on it. If they do get right on it, it will turn red. If they get next to it, it will turn this kind of orangish because they, they're kind of, I don't know, they're in the hex next to it, so it just breaks it. It doesn't completely destroy it. Let's get off of that. So we've got this motorized unit here. Let's just go ahead and do this. Now, we don't want it to go this way because it will break. Oh, and that's how those partisan units do. If you get right next to them, they just kind of vanish like ghosts into the population. So that's all you really have to do with them. Just get in a hex next to them. And that's why this unit is perfect for that kind of role, this cavalry unit. They've got a lot of movement points. They can go a long ways and just kind of rub up next to them and poof, the partisan unit goes away. All right, that all looks good. That's all fine. We still do have these security units. Okay, these security units are going into Brest, and then this security unit here, that frees it up. Let's hit Shift K just to make sure. Well, we know that it's enough right now, but let's move this one out. Yep, still blue, so we're all good. So we're going to move this unit up, and we're going to use it for some of these other towns in the center. And so what are we doing here? These are the security units from the south. We've got plenty of them because there aren't a lot of a lot of cities or major towns in the south until you get to Kiev. Now, there are a few. We've got Rovno, Zhytomyr that we've done. We've got Proskurov here that we need to cover. We've got this one back here, Stanislav, that we need to cover. We'll look at all of this when we get in the south. We do have enough for it. I've got to get back here and kind of assess the situation. But then I just move these two up here. Now, this part of it, I'm just kind of moving it through the swamp to make all of these not Soviet hexes. That way they don't hide like they did here and pop up out of the swamp rats. So what I'm gonna do, let's do it closer to this line. Now this is gonna be a slow slog. I may eventually bring it through here. I don't know. I'm just gonna go clear all of these up with a security unit because why not? All right, here we have a city. We only need 2 of these. We don't need 3. So let's click off 2 of these and we'll take this one and maybe we'll run this one down to Proskurov, but it's not going to quite meet the requirement. Because for a city, of course, you need 4,000. Well, we'll bring it down here anyway. Actually, maybe we'll go, shoot. All right, we're just going to bring it down here to start with, and then we'll kind of go from there. We'll move the headquarters for all of these up just a little bit. All right, that works. Here's some more reinforcements. These are the guys we turned into the Second Army, or part of the Second Army. So the Second Army will have a brand new corps show up. They're almost going to get to the front by next turn, so that's great. These are guys that normally, again, before they patched the game and changed it, I would have railed to the front. They would have been up here probably 2 turns ago. It's not the biggest deal in the world. The Second Army has just gotten into the fray, but as you can see, these 2 units popping up back here, maybe that wouldn't have happened in the past because we would have had units coming this way a little faster, but that's all right. We'll get there soon enough. And now we'll take the headquarters, move that up. YGBSM, yes, I would say that is true. If you love these kind of games, especially War in the Pacific, you are probably a spreadsheet lover. You know, you like to color the cells all different colors and have it all, the OCD is strong amongst Gary Grigsby players. I include myself in that. Yes, and that's fine. Sometimes I do some of the interviewing and hiring. I used to do that a lot more, but one of the things I always looked for when I hired someone, I would ask them kind of random questions, but what I was looking for is whether they had OCD or not. And again, I mean that as a compliment, especially in a workplace setting, because I find that people that have really high OCD levels, it bothers them more if they don't have something right than it bothers you as the boss. And those are exactly the kind of, at least in my line of work, those are exactly the kind of people that that we're looking for. I call them comma jockeys, right? Because I do a lot of contracts and stuff like that. So those are the people that if a comma is out of place, it bothers them so much they can't move on without fixing it. So that's right. Is it worthwhile to partially meet garrison requirements? P. Warner, you always ask very pertinent, incisive questions. I do not believe so. I think you have to either fully meet them or not meet them at all. Now, I know it's that way in well, I say not meet them at all. I mean, if you have it partially, I'm just saying I think it will still spawn partisans at a higher rate if you only partially meet it. I think you have to meet it all the way. At least I know it's that way in War in the Pacific. Now that game's different in the fact there's not partisans like there are in this game. You just lose victory points. But my understanding is that you either meet it and it's blue, or it doesn't matter. That's my understanding. But good question. Right, so we have this unit back here. Let's go ahead and move that. I know I'm going kind of out of order a little bit this time, but I want to get all of these reinforcements up and also meet, I was going to say meet the Italians. I do want to meet the Italians, but move the Italians. So we'll move that up, and then we'll use this infantry unit to hopefully knock these guys out. I'm not even going to worry about getting him across the river this time. We'll just use him to make sure those are taken care of. All right, let's go see the Italians. What are they up to? Well, they're up to not being a very good army, but okay. El Duce says, move, Italian troops. Now hold on, did I not see that the Italians unlocked or not? Where are the unlocked Italian units? Oh, they're all right here around Zagreb. Okay, what do we have here? We've got a corps. The Expeditionary Italian Corps. Well, that sounds nice. It sounds very official. Expeditionary. Okay, let me go up to the general's report again. I mean event log, I'm sorry, and just make sure. So we've got a brigade, a Romanian, oh, we've got a Romanian brigade and a Romanian division that unfroze this time. Okay, we have 2 Italian air bases and the Italian Corps. Okay, okay. Great. Well, we've got some cavalry here. This is going to be a slow move. Holy smokes. Like I said, in the old days, I would have, what's going to be the fastest way to get up here? Good Lord. I mean, this is going to be one heck of a march. Let's just switch over to rail. What's our rail cap? See, you could bring them all the way to the front this turn by rail. But the rail cap is only 24,000. Doesn't seem like that much. I'm going to put them on, I'm going to move them and put them on rail because as they move through Hungary here, and the reason I'm doing that is I may change my mind. These are not units that you're just starving for. You know, you're not saying, well, shoot, we can't do offensive operations until the Italians get here. But I may end up changing my mind. So I'm going to have them right on the rail, ready to go in case we decide that we would like to get them up here a little sooner. What do they have in their airfields? Okay, those are either transport or recon. They're all recon. Okay. So, you know, we've got plenty of recon. That's not a big deal. And what do we have here? 48 fighters. All right. So, I mean, you're just not talking about enough units that you're thinking, you know, we've got to rail them up here. So I'm not going to yet. If I need them, or, you know, maybe that one cavalry unit or something like that. I don't know where I'm going to get across the mountains here. I guess this is the obvious spot where there's a gap up here by Brunn. Or is it Brunn? Maybe it's Brunn. Gosh darn. Yeah, there's really no way through. What are these? The Carpathian Mountains? Am I right about that? I don't know. That was a total guess. But anyway, all right. Well, I think we'll delay our decision on those guys, exactly what to do with them. Now, they will be in the south. It's just a matter of where and what we're going to do with them. Now, where are these Romanian units that unlocked? I like Romanian units. Here's one of them. Okay, well, that's fun. What's he attached to? The 5th Romanian Corps. Okay, now this guy I may actually rail up here. That's a good unit. All right, we'll rail him up. Let's see how much rail cap that takes to do a Romanian division that a length of time here. Sorry. Gosh dang it. That took like 3,000 of our rail cap to get him up here. He gets off the train. Okay, great. Then we had one other Romanian division that unlocked, supposedly. Is he up here somewhere? I don't want to have to go back to the report. Come on. All right, we'll go back to the report. Where's the other Romanian? So that was the infantry division, the cavalry brigade, 36106. Okay. So he's back over here somewhere. Nope. I guess I could look down here, right, and look at my actual hex. So that's 52. So he's got to be way up here. No. He's got to be here. Is this 36106? Oh, it's 47111. There he is. Okay. Are we going to bring him by rail? I think we kind of have to. These guys are just too far away, and they're actually in what are already functioning units. So let's go ahead and bring him up here. There he is. Let's get him off the train. Oh, okay. You need 15 strategic points to get off the train. So we'll have to do that next time. All right. That is everything that has arrived. Rocket Soccer says, yeah, Rocket Soccer, you're great. You're like a rule book that's here. It is worth it as a portion. So that's good information. So if you can get anything into these towns for a garrison requirement, it will be worth it, as it does cut down on partisan generation. Wait a minute. Rocket Soccer, I'm reading this, and you say not a portion of it, but all of it. So is it worth it? I'm sorry, I just didn't quite understand. Hey, Tack, what's up? Yeah, the good old ship Dojo sailing, well, hopefully out on the Black Sea. I wish I was out on a nice yacht on the Black Sea instead of moving infantry divisions around. But yes, you are here. Glad to see you. Uh, Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Okay, let's go up here to our air units. Click here. Let's back up a little bit. Just kind of float over the map before we get down into the nitty gritty. Okay, we're going to go up here and look at our air units. We're going to try to do all of the air transport we could possibly do. This unit here, no movement points, just making sure. I do think we need to get a security unit. Now this is the one I thought I was going to take up to Talon. Do we have anything in, let's zoom in here, Peskov? We do not. All right, we'll do that here in a minute though. I'm going to go up, aha! I had a feeling there might be. Now you've got this little gap here in between the lakes, and now a Soviet unit has jumped over it, trying to get around behind us. So it's actually a good move. If you ever play the Soviets, you know, do stuff like that. Because it's hard to deal with that, right? It's just a small little unit. It's jumped here and was coming down to try to cut our rail. So that security unit, I just moved up there. And thank goodness I did. Light urban. So we've got the garrison requirement there. Okay. All right. As promised, let's go look at the air units really fast. This is what we're using to transport out to the panzers. How are our panzers here? They actually did pretty good in getting fuel. And you say, really? Because this should normally have 50 and it's only got 29. That's good. If you get above 20 through these turns in the game, it's because this rail line's really catching up now. It's going to move through Peskov and be right here where our Panzer headquarters is. So we should really be getting good rail or good fuel dumps up here from now on. So I don't know that we need these transport planes here anymore. Now they can only run. Well, is that true? I don't think that's true. Transport planes can run transport missions, of course, throughout the turn. I'm tempted to take these transport planes and jump them down here and get them really going into 3rd Panzer, 2nd Panzer, maybe even all the way to the south for 1st Panzer, because that's who really needs it. 1st Panzer is going to outrun everything. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these transport planes and hop them. Yes, let's do that. So we've got 3 groups here, and let's hop them out of here. And let's run, do we want to put them in the south? Where's our transport unit down here in the south? It's here. Or we should have one down here as well. We do. It's right by the railhead. To get stuff up into first. Now see, they're hurting a lot more for fuel. So 1st Panzer, 3rd Panzer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of them here. All right, so let's pick him. I'll put it in this one. I'll just gonna kind of spread these guys out because we just don't need transport planes up here anymore. Not really. So I'll take him and maybe put him here. Does that make sense? Well, we moved all of our panzers north, but that's all right. We'll put him here and we'll put the other one in the south. Okay, there we go. We'll come all the way down here, and it'll be this guy, right? Yeah, it's that guy. Okay, so now we've got some more transport planes into our transport air bases. I don't think I have any more transport up here. I don't think. I think this was our main transport airbase. Okay, what else do we have? Okay, so this airbase has nothing now, right? Let's get off of F10. Let's look at this. Yeah, it's got nothing in here. So let's push it right up here to the front. And to the extent we want to skip things up here to start bombing Leningrad, we can. What do we have here? We've got fighters and bombers. We've got fighters and bombers, fighters and bombers. That all looks good. Do we, I want to go look at the fatigue. What do we have back here? Anything? We've got a swarm of bombers. I guess we can move them up. Why not? They are not going to be tired. I'll tell you that. They haven't done anything. So let's F10 these. There we go. Click on him. We'll move them up here to one of these two. I don't know which one. Is that out of range? I guess we'll find out. F10. We've clicked on him. Oh, sorry. I guess I didn't select it over here. My bad. There we go. Now he's up here. All right, now we'll go into these units and see, or these air bases, I should say, who's got big fatigue. Anything over 25, that's what I said last time, right? Fatigue 0, that's who we just moved, I think. Fatigue 2, 0. Wow, these guys are really got rested up. Fatigue 4, fatigue 0. Oh, excellent. I thought we were in bad shape up here, but it looks like we got a lot of the fatigue off here in the north anyway. I don't think that's the case as we move further south. 0, 0, and 17. Okay, how many planes is this? The last one. It's 29. 17's not that bad though. These are fighters. I'm not going to move any of those. I don't think we need to. What about these guys? 33. Okay, that's a good one to skip to the back for this turn. 22, 20, 6, and okay, 2. Great. Okay, so the Staub JG54 will get out of here. Let's F10. Where is that sucker? Down here somewhere. JG54. Ah, crap. Which one? Oh, it was this one. Okay. Oh, it's only 4 planes? Is that right? Sorry. Sorry. Should have paid more attention. Um, yeah, it's only 4 planes. Okay. That's fine. We'll get it out of here. These guys right here. Select that, and we'll move them back here. Oh my gosh, did I just do that? Hold on. I didn't right click, I left clicked. Stop, JG54, 4 planes. I'm going to get it right this time. The dangers of live streaming these kind of things. Okay, so now he's back here. Now, what do we do with him? Well, he's back here just to make sure, because if you see here, his range, we're saying it's unlimited right now, just up to its range. Now, 21, I'm not sure if it would get it right up there, but we're just going to pick 1. And that way, he will only fly right around this airbase and can work off some of that fatigue. All right, that's those 2 air bases. Now let's go here and see what we've got. We've got fatigue 11, we've got fatigue 3, we've got fatigue 0. Wow, these are just so much better than I thought they would be. Fatigue 18. Not great, not terrible. At this airbase, I am going to pull down some of these bombers. So what have we got? We've got some Ju-88As, some level bombers, 40 of them. So let's pull that down, and also these down. I'm going to get a lot of bombers up here, and I'm going to really, really try to hit in and around Leningrad as much as I can, starting this turn. I think they can get to Leningrad from here. At the end of the turn this time, we'll move them up here, and this is kind of where they'll be for the strategic bombing of Leningrad. What do you guys got going on in the chat? I haven't been back here. P. Warner says, is War in the Pacific going to be streamed later? It is indeed. Immediately after this episode, we will be doing a crossover series. No, not really. Yes, I will do it right after this episode. As a matter of fact, we're going to move down through Java. We're going to look at the beautiful guns of Tarakan, and then hopefully even get down. Well, I'll probably go through the small islands, Celebes, maybe even down to Australia. So, yeah, I will do it immediately after this one. I think I'm going to do this one for a little longer today, though, because I want to move the Finns and maybe even get into 18th Army. Then I'll also be doing War in the East later. I don't have an exact time yet because I've got other promises that I've made today to the wife. So, but I will be doing another War in the East later, and also probably putting up my War in the West, my first video for War in the West. Whoops. Okay, so we've got all of the air, I think, kind of. I don't want to say it's completely taken care of, but I think we've kind of got it where we want it here. What do we have down here? You know, we've got all kinds of stuff. We've got a lot of bombers. How tired are they? 2, 2, 1. Wow, these guys worked off a lot of fatigue. And you will see that. I mean, these are week-long turns, right? So by the end of the turn, they can be very tired. This one needs to get out of here. These are fighter bombers that we're running as fighters. Stab ZG-26, okay. How many planes was that? 4, great. Stab GZ-27 has 46. Okay, we need to get both of them out. And this has 5. Okay, let's F10 this and get those 2 Stab GZs out. Both here. You know what, I'll just, just to keep everything straight, maybe I will put them back here just to make sure I don't conflate the two. There we go. So now they're back to the back to rest up a little bit. If we go here, go back to move mode, go here, click here. Oh, we have 12. What are these? View this air unit. These are tactical bombers. Okay, we'll jump those to the front. what was I doing? Oh, here we go. We want to go here, put their group range to 1. Now, don't forget to change these back when you hop them back to the front. As a matter of fact, I don't know that they'll hop back to the front if we have their range at 1 anyway. I actually kind of hope it's that way. That way you would never forget. But I just can't remember on transferring air bases if this range that we're doing right now would affect that. I just can't remember. Whoops, not F9. We're going to F10. We're going to go to this, and we're going to jump these 12 bombers up here to the front. All right, we'll put them there. And we'll go to move mode. Move into move mode. We've got a lot of stuff here. We've got 4 fatigue. We've got 5 fatigue. 13. 19, a little closer. 20. 10. And 16. Okay, all those guys are fine. That looks good. Then we've got fighters and bombers here. 21, 11, 13. I said I was going to do this one of these episodes. Got to make sure that we've got these air units all okay. Okay, that's good. I think we've got all of those lined up the way we want them. That looks fine. So we've got some bombing and some fighters here. We've got bombing and fighters there. We're going to come down here and look at these really quickly just to make sure and see if we've got anything else at the back that we want up here at the front. That's a 1. There's a 20, getting a little closer. 27. Okay, IJG51. Just want to try to really remember this one this time. The fighters, IJG51. Okay, it's 28. That's the easiest way to remember. It's 28 planes. This has got 20 fatigue. This has got 24. All right, these guys are a lot more tired. But 28 was the one we want to get out of here. F10 it. Click there. It's got 28 planes. There it is. All right, let's hop this back here. Right click. Go to move mode. Come down here. Go there. Group range 1. All right, we've got that one moved out. Back to the front. CJ 1941. Hey, how are you? How's it going? Pleased to meet you, says MooBot. I went in and messed around with that MooBot a little bit. Hopefully you guys can leave a little longer messages. I trust you guys. I probably shouldn't. You're all scoundrels. Okay, I've got the 0 there, 0 there. That's what I thought. So we can move things up here. I don't think there's anything left in the strategic reserve that I want to move up here. Is there any? Oh, there's a level bomber. Oh, this is the one that did I put that back there? No, he's ready. All right, let's put him up in one of these air bases. All right, what do I have here? I got a lot of stuff at this air base and not much there. Okay, so this is really the only air base to worry about. Hopefully we're good on fatigue here. It's my least favorite part of the game is doing this stuff. That's probably why they changed the air war for War in the East too. I actually like this system fine. If I had to vote, I would probably do this system over the War in the West system, just because you have more hands-on control. But you know, going through and checking your fatigue of your groups isn't, you know, scintillating television. I get that. 24, 24. They're all fine. Okay, I'm done with that. Let's get going. First of all, let's look, where do we want to run transport missions? Now, we've decided we're not going to do it there. We could do it here, but the railhead's coming up here pretty quickly. I'm going to have it jump the river by 1 hex, so that I've got a railhead hex on this side of the river. Then I'm going to bring it down to Vitebsk in this way. The reason is, if we have the railhead here, it's a lot more movement points if it's, or it's a lot less movement points to get to our core headquarters than if it's right here. I think this is either 8 or 10 movement points to get across the river. So we're going to go across the river by 1 hex. While we're here, let's just do it. Railroad 3. There we go. That looks good. And we'll do this one up here as well. Railroad. I honestly, if you're just starting to play the game, I would recommend doing your railroad units at the start of a turn before everything else. It's just that important. If you forget it one turn, it literally, unlike anything else in the game, you know, where you make a mistake elsewhere, you can recover from it. If you forget to do your railroad units for one turn, it could completely change the complexion of the game. Because things get out of fuel, and once they get out of fuel, you can't move them. If the Soviets have one more turn to get in position, you might not get across a river or something. Okay, so we've got this railhead, you know, up into the middle of our entire advance, so that's looking great. We moved this one. Let's go ahead and move this one down here while we're thinking about it, just to make sure. You know, it's not like it's hard or you have to think much about it. So just kind of go on, automatically go and do it every time, right at the start of the turn. Now we can't go any further there. Oh, look at that. We got to hop down there and then hop over there to get across that little body of water. All right, we're almost to Zhytomyr. That's pretty good. What's the Romanian one doing down here? Oh yeah, he's moving very slowly. That's what he's doing. Like the slowest railroad unit of all time. All right. So we're coming through Kishinev and this way. All right. He gets 2 whole hexes, but he's almost to Odessa, so that's fine. We haven't really advanced that far yet. It becomes a real issue down there in the south. All right, now we've done that. Now, where do we need fuel? I think this is where we're going to need fuel. These guys aren't great yet, but we've almost got, you know, more fuel coming up here. So I think we need to try to target them with whatever transport we can do. So let's shift. He's only got, well, let's put it into the headquarters. Right, okay, fuel. Now you just come down here, Panzer Corps. Let's launch all 4 of these bad boys and see how much we can get in there. Okay. 84 fuel got into him. Awesome. I mean, these are the most advanced, or yeah, the most advanced units we have, really. So if we can continue to put 84 fuel in with him, that would be. Now, I don't really want to use all of these. Did any of those come from the south? I didn't see that. Okay, let's take the 2 that have flown the most. Oh, this one must have come from the south. Okay, you can just tell by the air miles flown. Let's do fuel again. Let's make sure we only hit the core and launch it. Got 43 more tons of fuel in there. All right. Before I do that anymore, let's go to the south. I think we do have this transport units down in the south. And let's try to hit these cores with some fuel if we can. Not available, out of range. Now we put this transport aircraft down here. Shoot. Okay. Every episode, there's always a portion of it where I have to remind myself that it's PG-13. This is a family-friendly show, so this is that point. Let's put some more in here. I guess we'll just have all 4 if we can't go elsewhere. That's fine. All right, so we are losing like 1, but it's worth getting 42 fuel in there. I dropped it on the whole shebang of them. Um, that's fine. All right, so that core, oh shoot, I'm not sure if I did that exactly right. Let's try that again. Now see, now it's showing up other planes. That's what always confuses me about this. These guys are now not tired. I don't know, I don't get that. Um, Launch it. The more fuel we can get in here, the better. We got 55 fuel in there. We did lose 7 transport planes. So, you know, the Soviets are doing a good job of jumping in there and trying to at least knock us out. If they can whittle us down when it comes to transport planes, that's what they want to do. Okay, now we're out. Now we're done. Okay, so off of that, we've gotten some fuel where we can. Let's go up and start attacking with the fins. Always the funnest part of an episode. Funnest? Most fun part of an episode. Yeah, Moobot should be. That's right, P. Warner. Jasic, is it better to watch here or on YouTube? Or I seem to have more problems with Twitch. It seems like YouTube is a lot more stable, at least for me. I mean, I can't speak for, I'm just, that's kind of anecdotal. It seems that the YouTube stream holds up much better than the Twitch stream. That's just me. Um, H2880161 telling you the proper way to do it, which is to go to the commander screen, sort by fatigue, and then set them there. That is exactly the proper way to do it. Yeah, for sure. Um, CJ, you are late again. You've got a tardy slip. Hey, what's up? Is it Brannick? That's what I decided I was going to call it last time. If it's Brannook, I'm just going to call it Brannick. Because there used to be an old TV show. Wasn't Brannick on the A Team? If you've ever seen the old show, The A Team, God, I loved that show. Okay, um, let's move the fins. And what are we going to do with the fins? All right, you see the kind of situation here. I think with these two, get off that. I think with these two, we can try to blow this one. Then we can knock this one out with this. Then we're going to stack as much as we can, kind of move here, and then attack and force this one. So let's put as many support units as we can into these headquarters. Let's assign, oh wow, a tank battalion. We'll save that for these units because they're going up against armor. We've got a commando battalion. They're running around without underwear. We've got an infantry battalion, artillery. Look at all of this heavy artillery. I mean, we don't have a whole lot of places to use this, so we might as well get in here what we can, do some heavy flak, some light flaks. You know, the Finns have a lot of machine guns as well. I think that works. I mean, he's got a lot of options. Let's see. Who is our commander here? It's Oquist. He's a 4.8. Just out of curiosity, do the Finns have any good generals? Uh, Latakanen looks pretty good, actually. He's not bad. 8677. 309. Oh, that's not how it goes. 7. This guy's a 7. This guy's a 7 too. It's very expensive though. Wow, they actually have some really nice generals. Look at all these guys that are 7 on infantry. Huh, who would have guessed? Unfortunately, it looks like most of the guys they assigned are all 6s and 5s. Who's running the assignment process here? I don't know. It's not worth spending 32. We've only got 46 points. It's not worth it to spend that many points switching out Finnish generals. All right, we're going to use these two. Deliberate attack. They will be committing forces, and you'll see this more and more. They have these forces in reserve, and they will be committing them. My understanding is they can do it up to 6 hexes away on defense and up to 3 on offense. Rakasaka, you correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, and as you see, that's going to make it very, very hard. Let's do, I'm going to do something here. Let's do a deliberate attack there. Hopefully knock that unit back. We should. Okay, well, it knocked it back that far. And now we'll move him up here. And we'll just start taking pot shots at these guys. So hasty attack. The headquarters hasn't moved, so they do get support units. You know, and we'll just keep attacking and attacking here. Eventually, you know, we're going to get terrible odds. We're going to lose some battles, but we're just going to wear them down. And then next turn, okay, they cannot do a hasty this way. Next turn, we will attack with all 3 of these in a deliberate attack, and that should knock them back. You can see they're already turning orange here. Now let's go put support units here. And really, we could do everything that's left. The other Finnish units are not going to run into any resistance. So we'll just do this, you know, heavy flak, get all of those machine guns. We'll give this commander, what's this commander? Oh, this is Latakanen. This guy is actually a damn good general. He's a 6.0. All right, so we're just going to try to blast this guy out. Should I come down here? Maybe I should, but I'm not going to worry about it. So we've got all 4 of these Finnish divisions with a deliberate attack right there. Let's see what we get. That looks pretty good. Wow, 60,000 Finnish men. There were only 10,000 men here. 346 armored vehicles, though. All right, knocked him right back. Excellent. That was nice. Let's move. Keep on moving. Yeah, so see, the Soviets do have units here. They just weren't showing up. Can they do any kind of attack? No. Could he? Maybe. You see, 70 here. Oh, we can't attack over this zone. Right. All right. There's the finish line. If we zoom up one more. So we're to the line with these units. We've only got these Soviet units and these Soviet units left. Excellent. So we're there. Now we can't move any further because we can't attack. So all the Soviets really have to do is have a 1, you know, a strength 1 unit there, and we couldn't do anything. So that's all fine. I guess I'll move him there. Why not? All right, that all looks great. You can see they've got their rail construction units out here. Yep, CJ, Twitch has all kinds of issues that YouTube does not seem to have. I don't know. Every time it goes down, it's a Twitch issue, I've noticed. Hey, Floor 1976, how's it going, Floor? Floor always with some good information. If you do read the comments under the videos, he generally, you know, if I was just a little off, he'll say, oh, it's actually this in the rulebook. So always appreciate that. Mannerheim Steamrollers. You're already thinking of Christmas time. Do 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 do. You know, that kind of music. We should send 1 unit, I think, up here just to make sure there are no Soviet units up here. We also capture some supply. Thank you, Soviets. We'll send these guys a little further to the east and bring them down this way. Generally, there's nothing up here, but, you know, why take the chance? We'll bring it up here first, and then we'll bring it directly south after that. Gosh, you've got Mannheim Steamroller in my head now. All right, that all looks good. Move him forward a little bit. He's playing. There we go. Doesn't really matter. Move these guys forward. Or can he? Okay, that's fine. We'll bring him along the coast. Bring this guy here. Move their headquarters up. Who's he commanding? Is this the guy that has nobody? Wasn't there's a core headquarters? No, I guess not. Okay. I thought there was a core headquarters back here somewhere. It's this one. The one Finnish core consists of nothing. I don't know what it's commanding. It's just kind of out here. I guess we could, I don't know. I mean, we could put some of these other units. Are any of these oversubscribed? 8, 7 of 8, 8 of 8, 2 of 8. All right, so we've got plenty of command out here. I don't know. He's just kind of hanging out. That's cool. This must be one of those guys. They're like, yeah, you just go out there, drill them in a side field. We don't, you know. Sure, you command a unit. That all looks good. That's all fine. P. Warner, you've got Mannheim Steamroller in my head. I like, you know, I'm imagining the guy on the big kettle drums, and he's just like do 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 do. Like, you know, it's got me in a Christmas mood. Now it is sunny and 70 here today, 70 degrees Fahrenheit for all you Euros that like that Celsius scale. I don't know why people use the Celsius scale. It doesn't tell you as much information. I mean, you know, 20 Celsius and 21 Celsius. I mean, it can be kind of a big difference, you know. That's why, you know, only us Americans are correct, right? That's why we still use miles and whatnot, and the good old Brits don't even do that anymore. Feet, yards. All right, let's go ahead and move the 18th Army just because I want to. I want to keep playing, so let's keep playing. What are we going to do with the 18th Army? Well, we've got these guys here. Now, luckily, I brought this security force up here and found this because that would have been disaster in the making if this would have gotten into our rail line. So why don't I go ahead and try it? Can I hit him? Yeah, I can. Okay, so let's hit him with a deliberate attack and just, oh, we got great odds too. Nice. And hopefully that'll knock him back across the lakes at least. Not quite, but that's okay. We're keeping him away from us a little bit. So that works, and we'll just kind of try to turn these all into German hexes and encourage that unit to go back this way. Now, I think I want to go down here to Modal's group first and try to start moving north with them. What's the best way to do this? Let's go there. Let's give Modal some support. Oh, lots of gun battalions. Lots of howitzer battalions. Yeah, so a lot of these things have moved up to the top. We're getting a lot more choices here. We'll do a lot of mixed flak. Holy smokes. We've got Stugs, Jaeger bombs, Stugs, Werfers. All right, I actually think he's got enough to handle what he needs to handle here. This is a fairly strong unit, but we're going to do a deliberate attack first and see what we can do. We got really nice odds. He got 4 support units in there. We also bombed the heck out of him. Okay, so we're knocking it back this way. I kind of wish he would have retreated up that way. We're going to use a lot of movement points trying to clear out this swamp, but it is what it is. Okay, this unit needs to start coming this way then, because we would have a gap here otherwise. That's only a 3. Let's try a hasty attack. Modal hasn't moved yet, so hopefully he will retreat back up this way. He should. He does. Okay, good. I would prefer not to attack across this river. What I think I'll do is bring some of the 16th up this way, so these guys can link this way, or do I come? Let's go this way. All right, I'm going to hasty attack him. Hopefully this will knock him into next week. It does. All right. I don't really want to attack across the river here, but I don't think I really have that much of a choice. Just didn't even get, gosh darn it. Okay, well, it is what it is. They held. Let's hasty attack here. Still getting support units because Modal hasn't moved. That should knock them back. Does. All right, so we've shifted everybody a little bit west here to meet up with their friends. hit him. All right, we got a rout. The rout is on. We'll hit these guys. All right, we got odds there. I like it. They both routed. Now we'll move them up here. Here, yeah. Hit this one. See ya. Oh, he only retreated. That's all right. We'll move modal up a little bit. Wait a minute, he's got another unit under here? Yes! That's what I like to see. Probably should have figured that out before I started moving, but that's all right. This is good. Oh, wait a minute. I don't want you on this side of me. I guess I could do something with 16th to get him out of here, but I don't want to make him retreat back this way. So, well, let's hit this unit first. Knocks him back there. I guess I could do a deliberate attack against him. I really want to be in that hex. I don't want to fight you. I want to be you. No. Oh, good. He retreated back that way. That works to our benefit, really. Let's keep doing hasty attacks on him then. All right, got better than 3 to 1. He routed. Excellent. This is all turning out pretty nice. And we'll just move you right there. Look at that. That looks good. That's what I'm talking. Holy smokes, people are signing up. Do you guys hear that sound when that happens? Frankenstein should be running around the top there. Again, I said that before. I don't know why that's the default. I just kept it on the default because I find it personally funny that there's kind of like a bloody Frankenstein running around at the top of the screen. Flumen SV, hello, sir. Thank you for signing up. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Oh, Flumen has donated $1. Thank you, sir. You helped pay for this one today. And I needed it. Like I said, I usually get up at like 6 a.m. for work, which is fine. I'm not complaining about that. I found that working from 6 till 3 is perfect, right? I mean, you can't get better than that once you get used to the schedule. But because of that, you know, it's hard to go to bed at like 10 p.m., right? It's just very hard to do. We'll get to watching a show, and then all of a sudden I look up, I'm like, it's 10:45 or it's 11 o'clock. I got to get to bed. And, but I find on Fridays, my body decides that's when it's going to catch up. And so, you know, I woke up this morning and my wife's like, it's 9:30. Don't you have a stream at 10? And I was like, yes, I do. So if I'm not as pretty as usual, my makeup person didn't have time to powder me. Just kidding. Flumen, I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Means the world to me when people say, hey, I like what you're doing there. So thank you very much. Let's go ahead while we're here and move the rest of this 18th. Let's just do it. Now we're across this little body of water here, but if we zoom in really close, there's another one here that kind of turns into a swamp. I don't know. This is really crappy topography out here. I just want to get fancy on you. Okay, now our headquarters is back there. What is he part of? The 38th? All right. 38th is there. Let's give the 38th some support units. We got more parts of the 38th up here. What did I just say? Up here. Up here. Up here. The 38th, let's give you some support units. All right, let's see what we got available here. Yeah, we've got a really nice selection up here for 18th this time. A lot of gun battalions. Heavy, let's put the heavy howitzer in with him. Mixed flak, just in case we run into anything nasty. We'll give him some rockets. I don't know, give him a Stug, why not? I like those big old guns. All right, let's try to hasty attack this guy first. Nope, not good odds there. Surprise, we must have missed a roll there because we've got him outnumbered 3 to 1. I mean, I get it, they're in a defensive position, but and there you see, we missed a roll that time. It's the only thing that makes sense. Okay, we routed them this time. So that was 2 hasty attacks there. Now, when we come across the water, we need to do deliberate attacks, because you're not going to get odds doing a hasty attack across a body of water generally. Do I hit this guy? Yeah, the furthest guy south. Those are pretty damn good odds. All right, hopefully he routes out as well. Takes a step back. All right. Now then, how are we going to structure this attack? Let's zoom in here. I don't think there's any water in between them. We can go here and look. Major river to the east and to the southwest. Okay, so there is a major river there. Okay. You can always get that in the tooltip. You see it's the third thing down there. It'll tell you major river. What's it? What about this hex? There's a major river and a minor river here. Major river to the west. So this is a major river. But it's all minor river here. Okay, so that's the weak spot. Let's try to get through there. Okay, these are all part, no, they're not all part of the 38. This one's part of the 26. So let's get off him. Let's have these two guys just do a hasty attack down here. See if we get odds. We did not. Okay, now then, as you can see how things are starting to slow down here, right? Let's do a deliberate attack with just one division and see if we get odds. We got odds there. Hopefully he steps back right here. No. Oh, crap. It's going to make this a little more difficult. All right, let's click off him. Let's have these two guys do a deliberate attack. Now, I generally like to move back to front, but we've got to clear this up here. Okay, you see they have a 1586 defensive level, so we're only going to get them to take a step back. They lost 3,500 men there in that battle, but I do believe we've blown a hole across the river. Can this guy with 4 movement points get across there? He cannot. Shoot. Okay. This is part of 26th. He can get across here, but he's got no movement points when he does. That's what I'm saying. It gets really slow going right here. Who else is in the 26th? This guy's in the 26th. How far can he go? He can go here. Okay, we don't have any support units in the 26th yet. So let's rectify that. Sign. Let's put a gun battalion. A lot of howitzers, another howitzer, if we can. We've got all of these mixed flaks. We'll put them in there. We'll put 1 rocket battalion in there. Let's let her fly. Can I do a deliberate attack this way? I don't. Oh, I can. Okay, excellent. Hopefully we'll knock him out of here now. Got a lot of routed Soviet units. Gosh darn it. All he did was just go back across the river. See, they've got a secondary river here they're all falling back to that we'll have to, you know, grind across as well. Now can I move him? Because there's a little less... Oh, okay. He's in L Corps. How far can L Corps get up here? Can he get across the river? No. L Corps, he can. All right, we'll put him in the swamp. He can get up there. Okay, excellent. So we kind of hopped. We took the units that were in the back and hopped over the front here. These are all of the headquarters for everybody, so we'll just move them right there, and we can move the recon airbase there. All right, it's tight quarters up in here. I don't think we can do anything else, but these are not very strong units. Now the Soviets may bring some stuff up here, but this all looks good. This is kind of what you want right here. They're forming kind of this northwestern wall, and then we'll use the 16th to start forming the rest of the wall. Well, it looks like I may have to drive the Panzers up into this area, clear it out, and then get out of there. That would not be urban fighting. These are just clear hexes. We would not want to fight in this hex, which is rough. Yeah, it's rough and a town. That's doubly bad. We don't want to fight here, but I guess I will take the Panzers this far. This is light woods. That's fine. Light woods, light woods. Okay, so we can kind of take them up to here, and that's what I'm going to do. I've said Leningrad's my #1, so we're just going to keep driving the Panzers just to the doorstep. Then we'll probably reverse them out and bring them down this way, I think, or across this way and get them out of here. The Soviets should be massing here, so when we change our mind and decide to go this way, we should be able to easily get across the river. We'll see if that's true. The Soviets usually have a huge defensive line here. Before we go, let's run automatic recon just to see what the rest of the map looks like. Do, 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 do. Yeah, thanks again, Flumen. Thanks for the nice words. I do appreciate it. Okay, so we're gonna do a recon. Let's do automatic recon. You do this just by hitting A when you're on the recon button. And here we're gonna go and see kind of where the Soviets have decided to set up shop. Now we're starting to see a lot more of those units, you know, around Rezhev, around Leningrad here. Look at that. They got a 70 defensive force there with armor to try to hold the Finns off. Little do they know we can't attack there. There's your hornet's nest. Look at that. In and around Smolensk. Oh, they do have a unit out here north of the Finnish no attack line. Seeing that for the first time. And of course, I always run more recon, but the first thing I do is just do auto recon. Why not? Instead of sitting there and trying to decide every dang hex you're going to run recon on, you will have plenty of recon miles later to use. And so just let the AI, you know, run recon. It kind of gives you a nice flavor of the map. And then when you zoom in on specific places, you can run more recon over it. As you can see, there's more stuff at Kiev than they were showing. There's more out here by Novgorod. The map's really starting to fill up. It's getting more close quarters. You could tell there with the 18th Army. I mean, it's a hex by hex slog now that we're into the thick of it. Look at all these soft air units back here behind Smolensk. Cherkasy, they're running more things up to the Cherkasy line. I figured they were. It's just turn 8. The mud usually starts on either turn 17 or 18. So we've got 10 more turns to stay on the offensive here. Or at least that's been my experience. There's a dice roll that happens every turn once you get to a certain turn. It could be 16, 17, 18, I don't know. Well, that's not true. There's a dice roll every time, but you know, it has the choices of mud and snow once you get to that time. Okay, wow, you know, look at all these Soviet units now. We've got them kind of, you know, in little pockets at places. Let's get off this and let's zoom out. But as you can see, you know, the Soviets are massing. Now, I want them to mass here. They're not protecting anything. But you can see there's a lot more units here than we thought there were. They've come to the defense of Smolensk, although this is a lot of those units trying to get back to Moscow. A lot of air units. We found out that there are units all along the river here. That would be tough to get across, but we do have the 17th Army coming here that would help us blow across there, we hope. We've got a lot more units down here. Odessa, we're going to take with nary firing a shot, it seems. But with that said, I'm going to wrap it up for this time. As I said, I will make another stream later. I wish I had an exact time for you, but because it's the weekend, I am not entirely sure exactly what time it will be, but I do want to get another one in today. So I'm going to do War in the Pacific here in about 15 minutes. If you like that one, you should. Best game ever made. Um, so yeah, I'll be back in about 15. We'll do some War in the Pacific, get ready to resolve the turn tomorrow in War in the Pacific, and get all the way to December 20th. We're almost 2 full weeks into the war in War in the Pacific after 60 parts. So yeah, but if you haven't been watching it, it's very easy to catch up where we are. There's nothing major that's happened after Pearl Harbor. There's been smaller engagements, but nothing crazy. You can jump right into it. If you're just curious about how that game works, it really is something. So anyway, thank you guys so much. I do appreciate it. Always appreciate it. Thanks for the new people that stopped by. I guess thanks for you old timers that stopped by as well. But anyway, thank you so much. This has been Strategy Gaming Dojo. I'll talk